Well, let's bring in security and risk management professional Adekoya Oyekachi, who joins me on the program this evening to explore the security challenges Nigeria is currently faced with. Recall that President Tinubu has now directed security agencies in the country to re-strategize and to ensure that everything needed is done to quell the crisis in these areas. Thank you for joining us on the program this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Everyone is talking about the Benue State Governor's position as to the real identity of those attacking Benue. He believes that they are not Nigerians. Some of his people think that they are merely Fulani headers, and that's what they have claimed them to be over the years. What are your thoughts in this regard?
Well, I think we have to press the governor further. Perhaps he has some information that we do not have. But the information that is available is clear. Whether you call them Fulani headers or you call them foreigners, crime is crime. The reality on ground is that there is space, there is place, there is opportunity for these incidents to occur unchallenged, without any abatement. And, you know, there's a cycle that seems to reinforce itself. So whether they are angels or human beings, or, you know, whatever they are agencies of states, you know, that should deal with the issue of insecurity. So I think there are people on ground that should address the issues.
Absolutely. And that's also the idea that some have brought forward, especially when you consider the fact that this is not just a new challenge,
Correct.
You know, in north-central Nigeria. But the governor was clear to have said that it is a challenge peculiar to the border areas. And he identified that the communities that are hardly hit by this crisis are at those places where it is easy for those individuals to come in. He talked about, you know, the porosity of our borders, and perhaps even Mr. President, as ECOWAS chair, can, you know, for a while, halt the transhumans protocol that allows for free movement in that regard.
Yeah, I think that I hear some deflection. And with very profound respect to the governor, again, my heart goes out to the people who are facing these challenges. The governor is the chief security officer of the state. He cannot completely absolve himself from the challenges in the state. If he's deflecting to the president, I mean, I repeat this issue. On issues of internal security, you cannot call the president. Though we have a convoluted national security system, there should be lines. Every country has, for example, the US has a Department for Homeland Security, as we have our own Minister for Interior. They deal with issues of passports, amongst issues they deal with issues of custodial centers, issues of monitoring of the civil defense and managing private licensed security companies, among other things that the Interior Ministry handles. The governor sits in the police council, where you have the president as the chair of the council, the governors are there, the IGP is there. So the governor cannot completely absolve himself. I think it's a bit of deflection to say, oh, the president should. What exactly should the president be doing? Niger has not invaded Nigeria, to the best of my knowledge. Chad has not invaded Nigeria. Cameroon has not invaded Nigeria. There is no invasion from any of our neighbors. So the territorial integrity of Nigeria is intact. What we have a problem with are local issues. And we keep saying that security issues are local issues. You know, the governors that we have should be able to dominate their areas of responsibility. The governor in Benue is the chairman of the State Security Council. He has command, not control. The president, CEC, retains the control of the armed forces, but the governor has command. Some of these state governors don't fund fully the security formations that they have. And that's not to cast any aspersion or to make any allegation. Check the security votes for some of the states. If you can, drill down to what goes actually into security. The biggest problem we have from Sokoto to maybe to Owerri is the issue of logistics. The ability to move personnel from point A to where the action is. to move them first, to move them safely next. Because even the convoy needs to be protected. Next thing is the equipment and then the personnel. So security is expensive. I'm not sure if we are paying the right attention. So we need to begin to throw more light on the states where these issues are reoccurring. I know that there are some extraterritorial issues coming affecting the North Central. But we have some good cases to look at. Governor Babagana Zulum, Professor
You're not
Zulum,
entirely absolving the federal government of a responsibility.
No. I don't want to focus conveniently on the federal government. I'm making a point that the territorial integrity of Nigeria is intact, if we agree to that fact first. The governors are the heads of the subnational governments. Who will come and mobilize the people in the state? Is it Mr. President or the state governor? Who will conscientize the people? Who will organize the vigilantes in the states? Who will equip them? Has he made presentations before the National Security Advisor requesting for end-user license for some weapons for the state security network, and that has been refused? Has that been done? What is the state security network? Forget that language. What is the public order, public safety program that Benue State government is running? It's Benue State we're talking about today. The Plateau just had his own case, and then the Plateau State governor, short of saying he's helpless and hapless, you know, he's saying what more can he do? But there's a lot that the governors can do. I give an example every time. I say, when it's time for elections, the governors will mobilize polling units. I'm not talking about the wards. They will mobilize effectively every polling unit, every ward, every council area to ensure that the structures they have, the political structure works. If we are serious about security, the governors can also create a system that can work, bearing in mind their local context, resourcing it, training, ensuring they sit at top of it. Those structures can act as a force multiplier for the federal forces, making it easier for the federal forces. So I don't know how much, I don't have the facts on ground to say how much Benue is doing, but I can tell you for a fact. There are some states in this country where the vigilante people are paid 20,000 naira a month. In some states in this country, the vigilante are not even paid. And everybody conveniently faces Abuja and says the president must come. But it's an internal security issue.
The sentiment for state police is back, at the wake of this challenge.
Because it was dropped, it was shunned, according to reports, at the last FEC meeting and the NGF meeting.
But the feelers is that majority of the governors want it. And some are saying that perhaps it's about time for it to come in as an executive bill directly from the president.
I agree, because under President Muhammadu Buhari, this issue was on the front burner. The State House of Assemblies pushed it back and refused to sign on to the state police on the grounds that there is no budget. Remember that I think it was Abia State or so that some set of teachers or so were about to strike for lack of payment of salaries. So these are the same subnational governments that don't pay as well as they should, as much as they should. And you now want to give them the additional burden of state police. Let us even make the argument that we've removed subsidy. And now they shared in February at the last time 1.6 trillion. FAC for them has gone up almost 200%. So there is money. So how much of the security vote is going into the security of the states? When was the last time equipments were bought for the state security structure in the state? We cannot always turn to Mr. President. I'm not making an excuse for the president. I'm only saying, on the facts of what is before us, Nigeria has not been invaded by a neighboring state. Territorial integrity is intact. The state governors must now push their own weight. And when you say executive bill, Buhari did that. You can't amend certain segments of the constitution without the support of the State House of Assembly. You know? So if the governors don't make this an issue and take it forward and insist and mandate that their senators, their House of Rep members, and their own House of Assemblies push this and get it into force, it won't go anywhere.
I'm told we have to go now, but is it coincidence that the insecurity comes up at at moments where elections are on the way, midway into an administration, and then when the new administration comes, it appears things resolve for a bit, and we hear it again.
It's
in
how
30 seconds.
It's how we play politics. So just look at the data. It's cyclical. On the eve of every election, crime will go up. So I know that there's a lot of talk about the numbers now, just to say that the numbers have not reached its peak. It is just on its upward trajectory, based on how we play politics in Nigeria.
So you don't see it come down anytime soon?
It's not the time to come down. It's after the inauguration of whoever wins the next election. There will be peace and respite for 1 to 2 years, and then the cycle will kick in again.
Adekoya Oyekachi, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on the program.
Thank you for having me.
That's our show today, everyone. We end the week also on the show reviewing some developments in Nigeria, especially in Delta State, where Governor Sheriff Oworri, in a stunning move, defected from the PDP, a party that has ruled the